Hi, and welcome to No Budget, the show for filmmakers with no budget by filmmakers with no budget. I'm Milo Dennison, and with me are my excellent co-hosts Claire Milan.
Hello.
And Cathal Feeney. Today we are joined by independent filmmaker Blake Ritter.
Hi, everyone.
We're going to talk about some of your short films, some of your feature films, and just kind of the wonderful world of independent filmmaking.
So in some ways, this is a sort of a rhetorical question, but is Blake Ritter your real name?
No, it's my stage name. So I've actually got three names. My legal name is Xuan Lu, and then when I moved to this country at the age of 9, going to school, and people couldn't get my pronunciation right, so I changed it to Sean. I see the Irish way, Sean, S-E-A-N, Lu. That's my English name, and then I wrote a short story published on Amazon, and I wanted to get a pen name for that, and then chose Blake Ritter. And the reason I chose that is because I know one day people ask me, why did you choose that? And I thought at the time my favorite sci-fi film was Blade Runner. So I thought, I'll kind of change one letter, makes it Blake Ritter. So
that's a good answer, because it's a cool sounding name. Yeah.
Thanks.
Actually, funny, we were talking about it yesterday, and it did occur to me that it sounded like Blade Runner. So I'm glad to be vindicated.
All right, well done.
Okay, well then, what got you into filmmaking?
I got into filmmaking from kind of acting because I started acting when I arrived in London, moving from Birmingham, and realized this is the best place to start acting. So I did and took some acting lessons, and obviously couldn't get the roles I wanted to get because I was kind of a nobody and didn't have experience. And frankly, wasn't good at acting because it was just at the beginning. So I thought, how could I play the roles I really dreamt of playing without, getting hired by big studios? And I thought, okay, so I could buy a camera and start practicing making my own films with myself, my friends, and that's how I started. And I still can't really completely let go acting because I still really love acting, but filmmaking obviously has taken more of a center stage now. So that's how I started, really.
So you have no formal training in filmmaking, really? You just learned as you went along?
No formal training at all. Inspirations all come from mainly watching films.
And any particular directors? I know Ridley Scott obviously is one of them. Any other influences you?
Christopher Nolan and Quentin Tarantino. I think a lot of my viewers see some of those directors in my films. They often mention, "Oh, this feels like that kind of vibe from one of their films." So you can clearly see from those directors, yeah.
Okay, and you do a lot of acting. So what's the challenge of acting and directing in your own film?
I try not to do both at the same time anymore. It's a bit like Quentin Tarantino. He likes to have a cameo. I think that's probably what I would do now, unless a short film is a bit different. But yeah, the challenge is that you've got to be aware of how you look, even though you're the director. You have to trust whoever you're working with at the time to look into the camera lens and trust them that the image looks good. Although sometimes you do have to go and check yourself after press recording. So there's that. It's that time-consuming task of just checking, keep rechecking, and at the same time you still have to be in character. And so yeah, I don't recommend doing it because wearing too many hats, it does become very difficult, and you end up not being good at any of them.
And so what's your writing process? So, I mean, do you work completely alone, or do you collaborate with people? Or
I always prefer writing myself, but writing is probably the only stage of filmmaking that I don't enjoy. Only only for the point where you're thinking what to write, but once you know what you're writing, it becomes really fun. But when you don't know how to continue or how to start, that does become a bit kind of like tedious and like, oh, why am I doing this?
Do you direct anything that other people have written then, or is it all just your own stuff?
The only collab I've had is where someone asked me to write a story they had an idea of. I wrote it and then they tweaked the writing a little bit, added a few scenes. That's the only collab I have. I've never done anything else outside of that. I've never really directed other people's films or vice versa. No.
Would you be a disciplined writer? Like, would you say, I'm going to do so many hours a day or something?
Writing is probably still my weakest point out of all my skills in terms of I do everything: editing, color grading, acting, camera man. So out of all that, writing I still feel is my weakest because English is still my second language. So sometimes you probably can still see it. It comes out from my film. I have people, thankfully enough, who help me to correct me on set, whether they're being actors or producers. So yeah, I'm still learning a lot in terms of writing, especially dialogues.
Okay.
They come out quite flat and not so interesting. So yeah.
Yeah, because I always find with writing, it takes so much discipline. I think actors and directors don't realize sometimes how much it takes to write something, and it takes so much mental energy, I think, doesn't it? That's what I find anyway with writing. So it can be tough, So you mentioned that you started off as an actor. So is there one area particularly now you want to focus on? Is it mainly going to be directing, you think? Or would you like to just go back and focus on the acting, or what area particularly to interest you the most?
I mean, if someone asked me to be a lead role in a feature film, I probably wouldn't say no to them. Yeah. But that's not going to happen because I haven't put myself out there. So the only acting I'll end up doing is in my friend's film or in my own films. And like I said before, I'll probably still continue with a cameo here and there, maybe a lead role in a short film. But certainly for features, I wouldn't have the energy to do a lead role. And yeah, I think I'll concentrate on the writing and directing more.
Yeah, because definitely it's hard to direct yourself, especially as you said in a feature. It's impossible really to do everything 110%. And you're some of your stuff on YouTube and it's getting really big hits. Like, how did you do so well on YouTube? Because I know there's an algorithm, and so how did you put in some tag words, or how did you launch it on YouTube?
I started YouTube back in 2016, the channel itself. And I left it empty for 2 years. And then at the beginning of my acting career, I want to get confident in front of a camera. So I decided to become a YouTuber by doing vlogging type of videos, comedic, kind of emotional, funny, scary. And then from that, I kind of test small films by myself. Didn't get anywhere, didn't get any hits like most people tried, because it's really hard to get into the algorithm, like you said. So what got me successful is COVID. So thanks to COVID, at the beginning of, is it 20, where are we now? 29, it's 2019, isn't it? Started, yeah. No? No, 2020.
2020.
See, you get lost. So at the beginning of 2020, when COVID started in China in January, nothing was really being talked about here yet. And I decided to make a short film because I couldn't make any films with anyone else. So I decided to make a short film called Coronavirus. And I believe it was the first film of any kind, feature or short, of coronavirus. And that went viral, literally overnight. And then from that point on, again, like 10,000 subscribers. And I realized, okay, maybe a popular topic could work. Then I did another one called the Matrix, because that was supposed to be releasing soon back then, but they didn't shoot the movie because of the pandemic, obviously. So I thought, why not shoot an opening scene? What I think that could be a good opening scene for Matrix 4. And obviously that got picked up, went even more viral.
Wow.
Now it's sitting at 3 million views, I think.
God. So the trick is to do something topical, because it's so hard to beat the algorithm, isn't it? So you can't really.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a mix with my own films, and people start discovering me. So that's how I started getting the hits on YouTube, basically.
And so you seem to shoot and you film a lot of stuff. Do you do this as a full-time job? Is it or is it kind of a part-time thing?
Yeah. So I started when I arrived in London, I had a full-time job, and then I decided I want to do acting, and slowly doing less and less, and then I start become a freelancer. I do marketing and things like that. So I did that, and then slowly stopped doing that and started shooting corporate videos, and that also stopped. And because YouTube kind of took over more, I started moving just to full-time shooting films with the support of private investors who supported my channel. So now I make one short film per month on my channel.
God, that's amazing. And how do you keep up the momentum? Like, how do you keep going? Because that's a massive output.
I don't know. Again, it's thanks to COVID. When COVID hit, I couldn't get any freelance jobs anymore, and I thought, why don't I just use this time to build up my channel even more? So I just kept shooting short films by myself and just got that rhythm, and now I'm just used to it. I'll probably be able to, if there's a budget and time, I'll probably be able to do 2 films per month.
That's amazing. It's amazing to have that like creative energy.
Yeah, well, and it's impressive because I've seen a few of your films. I mean, the quality is really good for shooting in such a short period. That's really impressive.
I think it's not the shooting. I think everybody can shoot a film quite quickly. What people struggle is after they've shot it, I don't know why, but they somehow struggle to edit. They just get put off, they become lazy, or they just don't have the mindset. And I'm the opposite. When I've shot film, I just want to see it straight away. I get really impatient. And I have a nickname. People know me. They call me the rhythm machine, because I edit. If I shoot film today and wrap today, and it'll be live on YouTube in 2 days.
Wow.
And most people it takes about 6 months.
Yeah, definitely.
That's so true. Because especially when you shoot something, you do sit, like I know myself when I'm working on some films, it's sitting there for a while because it just takes so long. But that's the trick. It's just to dive into it, I think, Yeah. And do you use the same crew regularly? Like, you use the same type? Do you work with the same people, or do you just switch between different crews, or how does that work?
Yeah, at the beginning, I had a few people here and there, not that frequent. Then I met someone called Louis James, which you probably have seen in most of my films. He's been a good friend and good business partner, and he's become a resident producer for all my films and feature films. So not only does he work with me collaboratively on a creative level, as well as producing all my films and acting them. Even when he's not in them, he still produces the films for me. So he's the only person I work quite closely. And over the years, I've obviously acquired some actors and actresses I really like. And once you have that relationship, you do tend to go back to them and work with them again. So yeah.
Do you do your own camera work then, or do you have a camera person?
Depends on short films. Some of the short films that you've watched, like the first C600, that was done with just me and the actors. That's it. Nobody else. But the second C600 is completely different. We had like almost 15 people. Depends on the size of the project. So I've got another film coming up with just me and Louis in terms of acting. And then there'll be just me and the sound guy and him. That's it. But then we had a room service, which is another opening shot for feature I shot recently. That was like 20 odd people on set. So yeah, it all depends. But I enjoy just letting go the camera and just fully direct, so I can make a better film. It's like wearing too many hats again, because when you direct and being a DP, you tend to forget the acting, and not able to direct the actors well enough. You're just looking on the framing. So
on that subject then of switching from shorts to feature films, how is making a feature different from making a short for you? Obviously a larger crew, the production time longer. Like what's that transition like going from short films to feature films for you?
when I first did my first feature, Help, I thought it's going to be easy. I thought it's going to be like a number of few short films add together, but it wasn't that kind of feeling at all. The prep is completely different. You can go into a short film not really prep very well and able to shoot it and not have too much problems. But on the feature, you've got to really, even one tiny bit of prep that you didn't do, it's going to drag behind and you lose time. So I was really lucky to have a really good first AD who was able to change schedule when we are behind and have meetings every day after we wrap. So yeah, it's a completely different experience. I kind of enjoy even more on the feature because you get involved even more with all those different departments, and every day there's meetings and longer days. So it's kind of more exciting in a way.
How long does it take you to shoot a feature? For example, Help, how long did it take you to film that?
Help was 2 weeks with a couple of days break in between, so it's like 10 days shooting.
Okay.
But otherwise,
sorry, and then how pre-production and post-production?
Help pre-production, writing. I think I've had maybe about 4 or 5 different rewrites that took about a month, and we had another month of just arranging the crew, location, scouting, and getting the dates, and then editing. For Help, I edited myself, but I didn't have the energy to do the grading and the music and the sound. So I think it took me 2 weeks to edit the feature, to get a picture lock, and then we had a private screen test with close friends, and then I re-edited a little bit more after that, and then send it off to music and sound. That took about 4 months, I think.
Have you done music yourself?
In short films, I prefer doing it myself, because the budget isn't large. So I always use like Epidemic Sound, for example, and I'm always able to somehow find the right track, edit it a little bit in the sense that so it matches with the action. But it's not always easy, and sometimes I just can't do it. So.
And your current feature film is The Manor, is that correct?
So yeah, we're raising funds for the second feature film called The Manor, which
Okay.
is a horror film, yeah.
And so have you shot anything for that? Or is it just the, because there's a trailer and a proof of concept, I think, right?
Yeah, so the location secured, which is a really nice place that's been used by Netflix right now. The Manor in Surrey, we went there to shoot for 2 days just to get a proof of concept, what the movie could look like, the feel of the movie, which is released, as you say, and the trailer for it as well.
Okay.
But nothing else being shot.
Okay. And then so once you're done with the crowdfunding, you'll be able to start shooting the film?
That's right, yeah.
Okay. And you shot that during COVID. How did your filming process change due to like COVID restrictions?
Because we have this tight group, even for Help, was shot in COVID, but because Help was on one site and everyone is in a bubble, that really helped. Nobody went home, they all stayed in the same place. Same as The Manor, everybody stayed almost on site, really close to it. And obviously we have people confirming that they've done the test and showed test results before the shoot as well. But otherwise there weren't many restrictions that's kind of prevent any production difficulties.
You're you're making a film a month and doing a feature, and you say you could do two if you
Say again, I didn't catch the beginning bit.
you're making a film a month for YouTube and you're working on a feature. Now, how do
I'm
you
actually I'm actually working on two features at the moment. So I shot, it's called The Room Service. It was another feature. That script has nearly been completed. I see the feature script, and we shot the opening 13 pages a couple of weeks ago, I think. It's nearly finished now. It's with sound and music. We might raise funding separately so that it doesn't get confused by everyone else. But that we're not sure when to do it yet because we don't want to confuse people with the Manor. But that's another feature we're looking to shoot in abroad because it's American based. So yeah.
Well, let's get into funding because that's an interesting subject for filmmakers and how they fund them. So you're doing crowdfunding for the Manor. Do you fund your films? Well, first on that subject, I guess, how do you find the crowdfunding? Because you hear stories about people, they try to crowdfund their film and, the only people that contribute is people that they know, and that's really all they get. What's your process for having a successful crowdfunding campaign?
I wouldn't say successful because if you look help crowdfunding campaign, we didn't reach the target. I had to run 3 different campaigns and none of them reached the target. But it was successful in the sense that we got the funds we need to shoot the film in the end. But the crowdfunding itself, I think you need some kind of plan before you launch to create the buzz. And you're right, I would say probably 100% of the funding from crowdfunding is from people, almost 100% people I know, or people I thought I know, but they're already following me, but I didn't know they were following me. And then they saw this, they go, oh, I'm gonna put money towards this. But we were lucky enough to meet one of our investors during the crowdfunding of Help, who we have stayed open relationship since then, to continue help and support my films. And yeah, he put private funding behind the crowdfunding to make a successful funding that we needed. So he's involved in the Manor as well. And again, with the Manor crowdfunding, I was able to attract some big donors who, again, I didn't know were following me, and they saw the Manor, they really liked it, and then put more money towards it than most people. So yeah, there are mostly from my existing followers who's been following me for a long time, and then see this and they decide to jump in.
Yeah, I think that's a key for people watching or listening is, Blake has, a huge audience that can see that he's made quality films and can see your short, Blake, you can see your shorts, right? So they can see that you actually can make a good film. And it probably helps when you're then crowdfunding for a feature film. So you kind of have that proof already that the money isn't going to be wasted. Whereas I imagine a lot of people, if they start out crowdfunding their first film and they don't have anything to kind of prove that you can make a film, it probably makes it harder to get funds for that. So I think that's, you mentioned, that you have a lot of the followers and stuff. And I think that's a key aspect that a lot of people probably miss out on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Agree.
Do you fund any other way, like grants or any other method?
No, I don't have the patience to fill out grant forms.
Okay.
No.
When it comes to cast and crew, do your films, does it how much is it volunteered versus, paying cast and crew, that kind of stuff?
At the beginning, it's probably half people get paid, half people don't get paid. But I'm talking about this is over a year ago. But before the past year, only my business partner, obviously, I don't pay him, and I don't pay myself either. Not until the feature has been distributed. yeah, everyone gets paid on fair wage for my recent production.
Excellent. And then so that way everybody gets paid. That's nice.
I mean, we get sometimes someone who's get paid, they come out and they go, oh, I've got a friend who really want to get the experience. They're happy to come out as a runner,
yeah,
volunteer. That we're not going to say no. So,
no, yeah,
but,
totally. Yeah. If somebody's like,
yeah.
I'll work for you for free. It's like, yes.
Yeah. But otherwise, people we choose that we want to be on crew and cast, they get fully paid.
So to our audience, we've kind of already talked about what you're working on now. Is there anything that you're working on in the future or upcoming besides the other feature film that you already mentioned?
No, just continues doing short films every month. Obviously, every month, I don't know what's coming next month. It always just comes to me. I do get asked to do some influencer related kind of work. Like, for example, recently Panasonic came to me, asked me to shoot a documentary to advertise their camera, which I did. And Curry's PC World asked me to come in to talk about my movies, how they appear on TV, LG TV. I did that as well. So there's that kind of work that people might see, and I shoot a little bit here and there commercials that people ask me to do. So otherwise, in terms of films, yeah, just short films.
What advice then would you give to our audience of no budget filmmakers on either like what to do or what not to do?
For someone who's just starting, or
yeah, that's somebody's just kind of starting and learning out.
I would say just be kind of disciplined in terms of equipment, what to get, what not to get. I kind of made a mistake and tried to buy too much and end up wasting a lot of money. And at the beginning, you can even shoot a really good film with your iPhone. It kind of forces you to learn lighting and framing, because you're concentrating on getting the image right, because the iPhone obviously is kind of limited, even though there are people who can make really cinematic iPhone films as well. But yeah, don't worry about expensive equipment, concentrate on the story, and then practice and then learn from the mistakes and just keep learning from there.
Excellent. And last question, if people want to find you or follow you, social media, whatever, where can they track you down
at? Just Google Blake Ridder, Ridder with 2 Ds. People always ask me, RIDDER, and you should be able to see all the social media profiles on there.
But you know, it's great that like you're doing it for yourself. Like you weren't waiting for the phone to ring. You know, you weren't like a lot of people who want to be actors and filmmakers. They're kind of holding back until they get a grant form, or you know, they're waiting for something to start it. But you have to start, you know, and you never know what will happen then. And I think you're a great example of that. You know, just, and you will make mistakes, you will learn, but if you keep learning, you'll keep getting better, you know, and that, yeah, it shows how successful you are at it. It's inspiring.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I still make mistakes. Some of the films that comes out isn't great. Not every film is a hit. So yeah, it's always a big learning curve.
I think you never stop learning in this industry. I think you just, you know, and you have to take chances sometimes, but that's where success will come out of, you know, so.
Yeah.
All right, Blake, thanks. It was lovely talking to you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Best of luck with everything.
Thanks. All right. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.